Well, doctors, just like the rest of us, sometimes make mistakes. However, if medical malpractice does occur, the victim's family can only receive as much as $350,000, even if they are awarded more. Joining us to explain this, Terry Crouppen, our dear friend from Brown and Crouppen. Okay, Terry, Missouri law limits these numbers.
Yes. Yes, it's a recent change in the last few years by the legislature where they lowered the cap on non-economic damages. In a medical malpractice case, there's basically two types of awards made. One for economic damages. Those are lost wages, medical bills, etc. And then there are the non-economic damages. Those are the pain and suffering, what did the person go through, and then whatever the money is awarded just for the wrongness of what happened to either the victim or their family if the victim died. And what the legislature did is they limited the amount of that non-economic damage. In other words, the pain and suffering, those sorts of awards, they limited them to $350,000.
As we said, even if a jury can still award more?
Recently, the newspaper just gave an article of a jury that awarded $6 million because it was a terrible case of a child who goes to the hospital with meningitis. Clearly a very ill child. They didn't really do what they should have done. It wasn't just a mistake, it was negligence. The poor child, 6-month-old, perfectly healthy child before all this started, dead. And the jury awarded $6 million, and because the jury by law can't be told about the caps, so the family will only get the $350,000.
And your feeling about that, Terry?
I think it's wrong. I think, you know, this is all about what does justice mean? You know, what is a just resolution? Unfortunately, someday, some lawyer far smarter than I will develop a time machine, and then everything will be simple. We'll just roll things back and say, Doc, you know, use common sense, do the right thing.
But
are you
opposed to caps, period, or just this particular figure?
I think I'm opposed to caps because it takes things away. It takes the jury's opinion out of the equation. It lets legislators who are strongly influenced by various lobbies, you know, in this case the medical lobby and business lobbies, and it creates one rule for everybody in every situation, no matter what it is, and that's just simply unfair. Compensation should be like your job. You know, it should be, I'm going to give you this and we'll bargain, and you're going to give me a fair amount of money for me giving you my time and effort. Well, in a medical malpractice case, we're looking for the same thing, compensation and justice. In other words, trying to put money as an equivalent for some terrible harm done to you.
And I mean, the debate is always focused on these awards is causing medical malpractice insurance to go up, so we have to do something to rein in.
Well, the amount, we were calculating it. If you average it out per doctor, the savings in Missouri as a result of these changes averaged to less than $2,000 per doctor. So they're not enormous savings. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't do something about premiums if they interfere with our ability to get medical service. I'm just saying I think it's unfair to make these people that have been the victim of the very worst kind of negligence and had their lives totally destroyed by the loss of a child or the loss of a limb are becoming permanently disabled because not because of an accident. Remember, you know, get that out of your mind. These aren't accidents. These are cases of negligence where the person should have known better. And these are the people, the whole burden of this insurance issue is being put on the backs of these few thousand people every year. That's what's not fair.
Well, there is a challenge coming up in January, as one might expect. Terry, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Good.